Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kiera, and today I'm going to be telling you guys how I batch create my content for social media. Now, I'm sure you've seen on social media people telling you how they batch 30 days of content within one day or 3 hours or whatever the case may be. Um, that's not this. This is not that, baby. This is not that. This is not that. I'm not about to tell you how to create content in the one day or a set amount of hours, because for me personally, doing content within one day is just too much. It's just too much for me personally. I like to pace out my content, and that strategy works best for me. I like to do my content when I say pace out my content. I like to do my content at least between 2 to 3 days. Like, I like to do it over the course of 2 to 3 days. When it comes to creating my content. So first things first, obviously when you batch content, you obviously have to create a content strategy plan, right? To map out your goals, how you want to approach, this upcoming month with content, right? My content creation batching formula system is very simple. It's not hard. It's easy. So the first step in my content creation process is coming up with ideas and researching, right? Usually I keep a notes in my iPhone. I have it like in the notes app. I keep a list of content ideas that just come to mind like throughout the week. So when I am ready to do a new batch of content, I can refer back to that before I go research and look for other ideas. I start off by doing that. So that's my day one. So I'm researching, referring back to ideas I wrote in my notes app, looking at my analytics, seeing what worked, what didn't work, researching to see what ideas I can get, like what's going to spark my creativity. Also, while doing this, I'm also planning out how I want my visuals to look. Do I want to be in this room, or do I want to go in that room, or do I want to film outside, or do I want to try different point of views or angles? All of that I'm brainstorming and mapping out when it comes to that. The topics, the pillars I'm going to touch on. Am I going to be touching on the X amount of pillars, or am I going to be touching on all of my pillars this go around? Like, I'm thinking about all of that on my day one. And that just helps me, like, not rush into it. I know a lot of people like to do the content all in one day. And technically, you can do that when you plan it all out, but, like, people talking about planning, filming, and doing all that, that's like extremely too much. So the first day, I'm researching, strategizing, mapping out my creative, direction for how I want the video to look, or any graphic designs that I have in mind. I'm doing all of that the first day. I'm really tapping into my creativity flow, researching, analytics, all that stuff, right? That's the first day. I dedicate probably 2 to 3 hours for that. It depends. It may be an hour, it may be 2 hours, but I like to block out at least 3 hours of my time, especially if I plan on like creative directing, especially if I'm designing creating graphics. I'm definitely like trying to map out how I want the graphic to look, or just get an idea or get inspiration before I actually sit down and create that graphic. So that's day one. Day two, I'm doing all the grunt work. So I'm writing out captions, or writing out scripts, or writing out my points that I want to help me when I film. I'm writing out my points. I'm writing out a content brief for myself to prepare me to film. So I'm writing out captions, I'm writing out scripts, or just talking points for me to look at and talk off of. Hashtags, if I'm using hashtags and captions, like I'm doing all the grunt work, like all the typing, the captions, the what words am I going to say, what tagline am I going to say, what phrases am I going to say, what call to action words am I going to use. Like, I'm thinking about the language, the copy, on the second day when it comes to creating the content. So the first day, I'm thinking about really the visuals and the concept of the content. And then the second day, I'm talking about I'm focusing on the messaging behind the content. So that's pretty much what I do on the second day. And because that typically takes me a long time to just kind of map my thoughts out and just kind of write them and just kind of collect them so they can like flow and make sense to the audience, to my audience and me. That takes me about like probably about 6 hours. I ain't gonna lie. Caption writing for me is long because like I'm being intentional. I'm thinking about it. I'm going through it. I'm writing. For some people it probably doesn't take that long, but writing typically does take me long because I'm like really intentional and really mindful of what I'm saying to you guys. What am I saying in my content? What I'm saying to my audience? Because like I said, I want it to resonate. I want it to be valuable to them. So I just want to really take my time, write the copy, and give myself talking points for when I create my videos to talk to you guys. Also, I may do a little more research on the topics that I am talking about, or if it's something that I want to touch on or I know about, but I kind of want research to kind of back me up on what I'm talking about. I'll do a little bit more extensive research on, around the messaging of what I'm saying in my content videos. So that's the second day. Third day, I'm filming and I'm editing. Now, I know I said my content process takes me 2 to 3 days, but really it may take me 4 just because of my editing process. And I'm doing YouTube. It may take me 4. Now, it takes me 3 if I'm creating social content for Instagram, TikTok, those platforms, because it's 30 to 45-second videos or a minute video or 2-minute video. That's not long. It doesn't take long to edit. And if I do some like cool edits or different transitions, it doesn't take me long to do that. So I can typically get that done between 2 to 3 days, right? But if I'm doing a batch of YouTube videos, about like 10 videos at one time, that takes me about 4 days to complete that content with the research process, writing out my messaging behind the content, then filming, and then editing. I need an extra day to edit. So on that third day, I know I'm kind of jumping ahead, but on the third day, I film and I edit. It only takes me about 3 hours to film typically. Now, if I go off talking, sometimes it takes me a little bit longer than 3 hours, but typically, like, I stay under the 3 hour mark for filming, and then I go ahead and edit. Now, editing may take a little bit longer for me because typically when I record my videos, I just kind of record and go. I do one take, and if I mess up in the video, I'll stop, regather myself, and continue to speak on whatever topic I'm speaking on rather than just cutting off the camera and then starting again. So sometimes my editing may take a little long, and then there's other times where I just, flow right through the video and I need to do minimal editing. And let me I don't know if I said this, but when it comes to YouTube content, I use the same formula for all content, but when it comes to YouTube content, it takes me about 4 days. So I'm filming and editing on day 3, and day 4 I'm still editing those YouTube videos. But if it's for TikTok or Instagram, it typically takes me 2 to 3 days to complete that content because, like I said, it's short form content. Now, if I am creating graphics, it may take me a 4th day just because I'm mapping out ideas. I thought I wanted to go with one idea, but then I end up going with another. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. And then after I film, edit, all that good stuff, then I schedule it. Instagram has their own scheduler that you can upload so you don't have to go through a third party. I have used Later Past. Instagram and YouTube has their own scheduler, so that's like the 2 platforms I am on. So I don't use a third party to schedule my content. I just kind of go in the platform and schedule my content, and that's it. That is my content batching system. So I'm going to go over it again because I know I did talk and kind of went a little bit off topic, but on topic while I was giving you my step-by-step process. So just in case you kind of got lost while I was kind of explaining different things, I'm just going to go over it again. So the first day, I am setting aside about 3 hours. You don't have to do 3 hours. You can probably do an hour to brainstorm, research. I would say at least 2 hours to brainstorm, research, curate, ideas for the type of content you want to create, right? And then the next day, day two, I am working on the messaging behind the content. So I'm working on the copy, the call to actions, any buzzwords that I want to use in my content, or any talking points that I want to include into my YouTube videos. I'm doing that. I'm creating a content brief for myself. So when I film, I know exactly what I'm talking about. I know what shots I need, all of that. On the third day, I am filming. So I'm getting my content brief I made the day before, and I am just basically going down the list of my content brief, looking at my talking points and talking to the camera to film my content. And then day four is usually like a extra day I use to edit. Like I usually have an extra day to edit. And that just really depends on how much content I decide to do at once. Typically with YouTube, right now I'm currently doing 12 videos. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm realizing that that's a lot right now as I'm doing it. I'm like, well, this is actually a lot to batching content because my videos are like 20 minutes long and I'm editing vlogs. It's a lot of content, but I can get it done. I'll probably do it probably about 6 videos per batch when it comes to YouTube videos, probably every 2 weeks. So yeah, that is my system. It's not hard. It's very straightforward. This is really good for people who don't have the time to do content in one day or get flustered, or even for the people who want to just get everything out in one day. I feel like prepping, by curating your content and getting the messaging down behind the content and just kind of mapping out how you want things to flow for your content day. It's even good for you then. You can just get all your filming and editing done in one day, depending on what type of form of content you do. So that's all I have for you guys. That's my content system flow. Of course, if I update it or change something or add something, or I find something that works better for me when it comes to my process of creating content, when I do get that settled and curated and all that good stuff, I would definitely let you guys know and walk you through my process, because like we're always evolving, we're always changing things in business, right? So I will let you guys know, update you guys on my content creation batching process. But as of right now, this is what I currently do. I hope it's helpful. I hope you can get some ideas, or it helps you, and either you can copy my system, or it inspires you or sparks an idea of how you want to create your own system for your content creation. Again, guys, that's all I have for you. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.